Year 9 and welcome to your lesson 8 of the summer 2 term topic. Today you are going to be looking at Calypso, another type of music from the Caribbean. You might think back to types of music that we've looked at already from the Caribbean and think, are there any similarities between this? Please make sure that you have your booklet with you. Please make sure you've got pen and pencil, and remember, no phones. Please keep them out of the way. Let's go. Okay, so the aim of today's lesson is you are going to listen and analyse a new genre of music. You are going to understand the key features of Calypso and listen and identify to a number of instruments. As you always have done with your Do Now, this is your listening diary for today's lesson. So I would like you to listen to the piece Mr. Trinidad by Maestro, and I would like you to please comment on the tempo, the structure, the dynamics, instrumentation and pitch. We're now coming towards the end of Year 9. So I think you should be starting to make your own judgment on the piece. Do you like this genre? Do you even like the piece? Why or why not? Please make sure to write your responses in full sentences. Pause the video now and use the link in the description box to help you find Mr. Trinidad by Maestro. Moving on to activity 8.2 for today's lesson, I'd like you to use the application Please Focus on Sound and complete some of the following tasks. So listen to how different instruments from around the world sound using the dictionary feature, and also then recap any information you have on Indian Raga from last lesson. Pause the video now and use Focus on Sound to make sure that you can understand and identify different instruments. Moving on to Calypso then. This is activity 8.3, so please be taking notes as we're going through. Now, Calypso is once again another style of music from the Caribbean. It is the national dance of Trinidad and Tobago, and also Calypso, it's mainly associated with carnivals. It kind of originated in around the 1940s, and steel bands are often used to play the Calypso tunes. If you haven't already and you don't know what a steel pan looks like, please pause the video now and come back to it. Typical features of Calypso music are that it uses 4/4 time and it uses that syncopation rhythm. Remember, that is where the accents are not on the strong beats of the bar. It uses the acoustic and the bass guitars and uses trumpets, saxophones, electric guitars, drum kit and Latin percussion, but it also uses some of those steel pans that we discussed. Often uses 3-beat rhythms and call and response. Just a reminder, call and response is that musical question answer, so one person states and other people follow. It uses simple harmony, quite similar to reggae and merengue that we looked at. And it uses the verse chorus songs, and once again its lyrics are quite topical or witty. Satirical just means funny, in my opinion. Pause the video now if you haven't got those points down. Please make sure to be taking these notes as we go through. Another thing is that soca means soul calypso. It's a slightly different type of music because it's a little bit more energetic and it uses disco influences, which is kind of similar and it's an offshoot of salsa. Soca, though, is kind of characterised by the use of horns and Latin percussion and loud, fast percussion beats. Very loud bass guitars with repeated riffs and repeated chord sequences. And there's rhythmic nonsense words and lyrics about love and partying. Just thought it'd be interesting for you to hear how the traditional Calypso rhythm sounds. So the traditional Calypso rhythm uses that quaver, crotchet rhythm, and it's repeated often over and over again in the piece. If you need to hear that again, please just rewind, but pause the video now to make sure you've got any notes for activity 8.3. Moving on to activity 8.4, you'll notice in your booklets that you've got a rhythm grid, and I thought it'd be actually interesting for you to be able to hear how each of those lines actually sound. Now what I've done here is I've put the 3 parts together for A, B, C. This is with a metronome playing, so it has that constant tick of 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that you are listening out, try and identify each of the different parts. I will play this twice. you will notice that the bass drum part is a constant beat on those quaver pattern. It plays on every single beat. However, the snare drum uses that syncopated rhythm here. So does the drum set, okay? You've got to think about it being 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice where it falls on the major beat and where it doesn't. Doesn't here, does it? Just going to play that for you one more time. Now you'll notice for activity 8.5, this is your time to have a go and add your own line. Below, I've added a simple rhythm that you could try, but let's be honest, don't copy what I've done. It's a bit boring. And also, does that really help you understand what you need to? Think about, can you use that syncopation? Could you think about the typical Calypso style that we used before? Really try and push your boundaries at this point. Don't sit there and just think, oh, I can't notate it, so I won't do it. You can put X's in the rhythm grids to start off with, then look at how I've notated it on here and really think, can I push myself now to really be trying to notate this properly? Remember, if you're using percussion, you should be using the cross heads. So remember, that is just putting the cross rather than drawing as you would normally. Okay, still beam it as a normal note. But this is just something so you can hear an example. At the end of this example, please end the video and carry on with activities 8.5 and 8.6. And just once more before we go. Thanks very much, Year 9. End the video now and use the rest of the lesson time on activities 8.5 and 8.6. Thanks.